When I became old, I was strong once. My hands were big and full of power. I worked from morning to night, every day. I did not rest because my family needed me. I wanted my children to have a good life. I built our house with my hands and fixed every problem. I bought food, clothes, toys. I gave them everything I had. I was always tired, but I smiled when I saw them laugh. I remember the cold nights. The wind was loud outside and rain hit the roof. My children were warm in their beds, sleeping. I was on the roof, fixing holes with my cold hands. I did not stop. I stayed there in the rain because I loved them. I never thought of rest. Their safety was more important than my pain or cold. On birthdays, I baked simple cakes with care. I watched their happy faces as they ate. On rainy days, I told funny stories to make them laugh. When they were sick, I sat by their beds all night. I held their hands, checked their fever, and whispered, "I am here." I gave them my time, my strength, my heart. I gave them all of me. Now I am old. My hands shake and my legs feel weak. I cannot move fast any more. I need help to stand, to eat, and to get dressed. I thought my children would be near me now. I thought they would take care of me like I did for them. I waited and waited, but no one came to help me at home. One day they took me in a car. My son smiled and said, "It is a good place, Dad." I smiled too. I believed him. The car stopped near a tall grey building. A woman opened the door and said, "Welcome." I looked at my son, but he did not cry. He said goodbye and left. I stood with my small bag, watching the car drive away. I felt cold inside. The room was small and cold. There was one bed, one chair, and one window. I sat on the bed and looked outside. I saw trees with no leaves and an empty road. The sky was always grey. I listened to the silence. No voices, no footsteps, only the sound of the clock on the wall ticking slowly all day long. In the morning a nurse came and gave me food. She smiled, but her smile was not real. She spoke fast and walked away. I ate in silence, thinking of the kitchen at home. I used to sit at the table with my children. We laughed, we talked, we were a family. Now I eat alone. The room feels big, but I feel small. I tried to talk to the other people here. Some did not speak. Some stared at the floor. Some cried at night when they thought no one could hear. I listened to them cry. I wanted to help, but I did not know how. I felt like a tree in winter, old, quiet, and forgotten. I missed my family more with each day. I looked at the door many times. I hoped someone would walk in. I hoped to hear my son say, "I missed you, Dad," but the door stayed closed. No one came. I counted the days on the wall with a pencil. 10, 20, 30. I stopped counting after that. The days were all the same. Nothing changed. I wrote letters, but I did not send them. I did not know if anyone would read them. I said things like, "I love you," and "I miss your voice." I wrote about the past, when we played in the park, when we sang songs in the car. I cried as I wrote, but I kept writing. It helped me remember that I once had a life full of love. Every night I lay in my bed and looked at the ceiling. I closed my eyes and saw their faces, my daughter's smile, my son's laugh, the way they ran to me when they were small. I saw birthdays, school days, long walks in the park. I remembered how they held my hand and said, "Don't let go." But now they have let go. Sometimes I dream of home. I see the kitchen with warm light and the smell of food. I hear the sound of the radio, the chairs moving, the children's voices. I wake up with a smile, but then I see the grey walls again. The silence is louder than any noise. It fills my ears and makes my heart feel heavy. One morning I saw a boy in the yard. He was visiting someone. He looked like my grandson. He had the same eyes, the same hair. I stood by the window and watched him laugh. I smiled for a moment, but then he left, and the yard was empty again. I stood there for a long time. My smile was gone. The nurses are kind, but they are busy. They come, they go, they speak in soft voices, but they do not stay. I want someone to sit with me, to listen, not because I am sick, but because I am still here. I am still alive. I want to be seen, to be heard, but I feel like a shadow on the wall. I talk to myself sometimes. I say things I wish I could say to them. Do you remember the beach? Do you remember how I held you when you were afraid? I whisper these words at night. I don't know if anyone hears me, but I say them anyway, because the memories are all I have left. Sometimes I wonder if they feel sad. Do they think of me when they eat dinner? Do they walk past my old chair and remember I used to sit there? I wonder if they ever miss my voice or the way I called their names in the morning. I wonder if they look at photos and stop for a second just to think of me. I gave them all of my time. I gave them my hands, my back, my health. I missed sleep, missed fun, missed rest, all for them, but I never felt tired when they were near. Their voices gave me energy. Their hugs made the pain go away. I was happy to give, because I believed they would always care. There is a tree outside my window. It does not have many leaves now. The branches are thin and quiet. I watch it every day, in the morning, in the evening, even in the dark. It stands alone, like me. It used to be full of colour. Now it waits. I think it waits for spring. I wait too, but not for flowers. One man here had a visitor last week. His daughter came with a cake. He cried when she hugged him. I watched from far away. I tried not to stare, but I couldn't stop. He smiled all day after she left. He walked lighter, talked more. I was happy for him, but I felt a small pain inside my chest. I keep a picture under my pillow. It is old and soft at the edges. In it I am holding my children when they were small. Their faces are bright, and I look strong. Every night I take it out and look at it. I talk to them in my mind. I say good night. I say I love you. Then I sleep with tears on my face. I think about the last day I was at home. I sat in my chair by the window. The sun was warm on my face. My son came in and said we were going for a short ride. I asked, where? He smiled and said, Just trust me." I trusted him. I put on my shoes and followed him. I didn't know that I would never see my home again. The ride was quiet. He didn't say much. I looked out the window and watched the streets. I saw children playing, people walking, shops I used to visit. My heart felt strange. Something was wrong, but I stayed silent. I wanted to believe he was doing something kind. I wanted to believe he still cared. When we stopped, I saw the building. It looked cold and tall. I turned to ask him a question, but he was already opening the door. He helped me out, but he did not look in my eyes. A woman came and greeted us. She was smiling. My son said goodbye and hugged me quickly. Then he left. I stood there, feeling empty. I waited for him to come back. I thought maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he just needed time. Maybe he would call. I kept looking at the door every time I heard footsteps. I asked the nurses again and again, did someone call for me? They always said no. I stopped asking after a while. It hurt too much. Now I sit by the same window every day. I watch the same road. I see cars, birds, clouds. I hope one of the cars will stop and someone will walk in with my name on their lips. But no one does. The road stays quiet, and my heart grows tired. But still I wait, because that is all I can do. Some days I try to smile. I sit with the others and listen to music. The songs are soft and slow. They remind me of days when the house was full of laughter. I close my eyes and see my children dancing in the living room. I hear their feet on the floor, their voices calling, "Come dance, Dad!" I try to feel those moments again. There is a mirror in my room. I look into it, but I do not know the man I see. His hair is white, his face full of lines. His eyes look tired and sad. I touch my face and try to remember when I was young, when I ran with my children, lifted them high, held them close. Now I can barely stand without help. Sometimes I wonder if I did something wrong. Was I too quiet? Did I not show enough love? But then I remember how I held them at night, how I worked for them every day, how I gave them my time, my strength, my heart. I was not perfect, but I was always there. I was a father. I gave them all I had. I used to believe in happy endings. I thought that if I gave love, I would receive love. But now I sit alone in this room, with cold walls and quiet nights. The ending is not what I hope for. It is slow, silent, and full of waiting. No one comes. No one calls. The world outside keeps moving, but I stay here. If someone ever reads this, I want them to know one thing. I loved my children. I loved them with all of me. Even now, after all the silence, I still love them. I forgive them. I hope one day they remember me, not just as an old man in a chair, but as the father who gave them everything he had.